hypocritical people. We are here now with our hypocritical after hours. We get a chance to talk a little bit about some things we didn't get a chance to put in our normal episodes, just because we talk too much. So we're still talking, and I think today we have Alexa MKE with something on vegan. And how are you doing today, Alexa
I'm doing
MKE?
great. And yes, I am vegan. How do you know a vegan is a vegan? They'll tell you. So,
Ah,
har, 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 har,
I
har,
love
har, har.
that.
Yeah, so those are the vegan jokes we hear. So I want to go on a little bit because I know I've talked to you a bit about this. Being vegan isn't, you know, I guess in a perfect world, people wouldn't care and people wouldn't judge. And as a vegan, I really don't care what you eat. I know you're a meat eater, right?
Oh hell yeah! I can't believe I don't have a chicken leg sitting out of my mouth right now, or grabbing a piece of jerky. See, to me, I'm always like, hey, I'm trying to save your plants, and I'm killing off and eating all those lousy cows that are eating your grass, and that's I'm trying to do that for you.
Well, we're not gonna go into the veganism of veganism because I could have all sorts of retorts to that to you, but I choose not to, and there's a reason why I choose not to, and there's reasons why I'm vegan. So, vegan
Anything
is a
without a
choice.
face, but to explain what your version and what your level of veganism is, it's something with like anything that has a face is a no, right?
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, anything that has a face or a mother, anything that's breathing, pretty much I don't eat. So what veganism is, for people who don't know, it's different than vegetarianism. It's different than being a pescatarian. What a vegan is they don't eat anything having to do with animals. And a strict vegan basically will not wear leather, honey. They will not consume honey because it comes from bees. They won't wear wool. And there's very good reasons for all of this. And as a vegan, and I've been vegan for almost 7 years now, I did wear leather for a while. I still have a few wool things in my wardrobe. I bought those before I went vegan. But one of the things I've discovered being vegan for almost 7 years is there's no such thing as being the perfect vegan. And so we're going to talk a little bit about vegan trolling, about vegan on vegan, like aggression, and how meat eaters relate to vegans and how maybe vegans appear to meat eaters. Because we worked together for a while, for almost a year. How did you find me as a vegan coworker?
Oh, very interesting. Again, like I said, I try to open myself up to anything. You made me a great eggless tofu salad. So so I'm certainly open up to things like that when you give it a chance. But I'm certainly not going to give up my meat. That's for sure. I will appropriate it, but I will not. I will not take it over.
So did I ever tell you never to eat meat?
No, no, you were never that way. No,
I
I
was
would
never
never say
that
you were.
way.
You were not
But
militant. I would not put you in the militant category. No.
right, and that's one of the things we're going to talk about is shades of veganism, because there's celebrity veganism where they go vegan because it's cool, and then there's abolitionist vegans who have a very good point that everybody should be vegan. I agree with them. I don't agree with their methods. And there's a number of reasons why I agree with them, and we could have those discussions at another time. But I want to talk about vegans and perceptions in general, because one of the things I do as a vegan is I want to be a very good advocate for veganism. One of my first rules of engagement for being an advocate for anything is don't be confrontational. There is so much trolling going on of vegans. And
Microaggressions, right? Those are called
I don't want to
microaggressions,
use
right?
that term. I'm going to use trolling because a lot of it happens on the internet. It doesn't happen in person. I think microaggressions are something that maybe happens in person. And it's more, you know, again, like I opened up, how do you find the vegan at the party? They'll tell you. As a vegan, I don't sit there and come out and say I'm a vegan. If I come to a party and I know there's probably not going to be good options for me, I eat before I go and I cruise the fruit plate, and that's pretty
There's
much it.
always a dip plate there. There's
Yeah,
always
there's always
broccoli and
something.
cauliflower and carrots sitting in
Yeah,
a
I'll
round
steal the
circle
lettuce from
somewhere.
underneath, whatever.
Right, right.
And to me, being a good advocate for being a vegan is really important for all of us who are vegan and for all of us who are vegetarian or thinking about going vegan. So vegan, like I said, does not partake of any animal things. Now we're talking about vegetarians. Vegetarians will eat cheese or eggs. Some of them are pescatarian and they will also eat fish. So the cheese and egg ones are called ovo-lacto vegetarians, and the ones who eat fish are called pescatarian vegetarians. because some people believe that fish are different than mammals. I don't care. I don't eat live things, and I don't things that were once live. I don't eat them whether they're wiggling or whether they're not wiggling. I don't care. Just don't eat them. And you know, I also don't disregard the fact that humans are also living creatures, and they need to be respected as well. And so you're a meat eater, so how would you feel like if somebody came up to you and said, you know, oh, you should stop eating bacon. Do you know what that does to the environment? Do you know what that does to your health? And besides that, you killed a pig. I mean, what is your reaction going to be to that? It's not going to be one that's nice, because you're going to get defensive, right?
Yeah, I think so, or you know, I guess I'm not the kind that would just go, oh, you're right, I'm gonna set this down now and change. Oh no, I guess I really would say that to them.
Yeah, no, and you're not. And so, you know, one of my, I guess I would call it like, you know, conversions. You know, I converted a friend. I have a longtime friend who was having some health issues, and I went vegan for health reasons. So I ended up, you know, having all my health come back to me. I was not in great health for a while because I was working too much. I was stressed. I had, you know, high blood pressure and other things. I'm not on any medication because I don't eat just any vegan food. I eat healthy vegan food. So he was asking me questions, and on the phone a couple weeks ago, he goes, I just want to let you know, I didn't even realize it, I'm now 95% vegan. Now, to me, that means he's vegan. He's not 95% vegan, he's vegan. So basically, if he goes out and he has, you know, a chicken wing at a party, he's still vegan. He's not a militant vegan, and he's not doing it for reasons of, you know, political reasons, I guess. He's doing it for his health. So I guess you could call that a whole food plant-based diet, but I doubt he's eating a whole food plant-based diet as it's described. He's basically a vegan most of the time. There's one doctor who says basically vegan before 6. So basically after 6, you can eat what you want. Well, there's so little time left, you know, before you go to bed that, you know, you're not going to ruin your health. I don't necessarily agree with that from a health standpoint or a vegan standpoint, but, you know, hey, if it floats your boat, it gets you down the road and one more step towards, you know, creating a perfect world, that's cool with me. The other thing I want to talk about is the internet trolling. And the interesting thing is, you know how football fans get really upset with each other because, you know, hey, you know, you're football player, blah, 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 or they get in these arguments about the differences of the game, or even like we were talking about Star Wars and the differences in Star Wars, you know.
Picard or Kirk.
Yeah, I mean, what's the level of animosity that happens online with that? I mean,
you know, I don't know. I don't get into those things. I know that, you know, gamers, you know, see a lot more of it. The your mama jokes are, you know, you're having sex with your mom appears quite a bit, you know, in those type of things. And I just know from experience, I know what people talk, and I've read some comments. And again, like sometimes I guess you're blind to the ones that you know are put by idiots. So, you know, it's kind of like, you know, I'm looking for substance, just like when you're trying to get a review on the mattresses that we have, and
right.
By the way, 1 week still going great. So,
yay!
but you have to do, when you look at a review, you have to look at, all right, which is the one that's planted by someone at the factory, and which is the one that the guy got just got the wrong one. You gotta skip around. You can't listen to the person who goes, oh my God, it's the best one since sliced bread. Well, you know that's not true. So it's all about that, finding that nice even spot. If it makes you feel better, like you said, you're doing it for the right reason. I eat salad for the same reason, for health. All right.
But here's the thing: you don't have other meat eaters coming up to you and saying, "Well, I hear you ate a salad. Does that mean you're vegan now? You've like basically dissed our tribe completely, and you should die because you ate a salad." Here's the thing about vegans: they troll each other, which really pisses me off.
I know. It's kind of like you should all be together.
We should all be together working towards the same thing.
Them, yes.
And my thing is you know, there's a toolbox, right? You have a toolbox. My toolbox does not contain a hammer. Okay, my toolbox contains like a paintbrush. So I want to paint people a picture of why it's good to be vegan, or why, you know, you may want to change your ways. But I don't have that discussion unless I'm invited. Whereas the militant vegans or the abolitionists will hit me over the head with the hammer. They'll hit you over the head with the hammer. They'll hit me over the head with the hammer because I'm not telling you you should be a vegan. They'll hit you over the hammer because you're the one killing the animals.
Right. And again, this has gone by all the things we've been talking about, always come back to this again. And again, it's all our parts either way. It's about evolution, not revolution. However, the people a lot of times that are the small part of it, the minority that's trying to get heard, want it to be a revolution, you know, because they want the change quickly and they want it fast and they want it just to go do it. You know, same thing, you know, well, just accept it. Just accept it. Don't just start eating it. Just don't start eating meat. Just start doing it. Why can't you just start doing it? You know, again, I need evolution, not revolution, you know.
Well,
you
and
know,
that's how
I don't want to
feel.
be eting Soylent Green. I don't want to be doing that, you know, pretty soon.
Soylent Green is made with real people, which means it's not vegan. It's not vegan. But my point at the end of the day is
there's some soybean in there. There's some Soylent Green helper that they have in there.
Soylent Green helper. There you go. I'm going to put that on the shelf at the grocery store. Soylent Green helper. But you know, we talk about that. So, you know, you've got the vegans who hate each other. So it is vegan versus the world, because as a vegan who's not pushing veganism on everybody else, it's me against the vegans, but then it's me against some of the meat eaters who think that, you know, the food I eat is gross.
You're pushing a two-front war. It's hard to push
it really is. It really is. And so, you know, I've talked to people, you know, it's like, hey, like I offered you the eggless salad that I make. It's basically the same egg salad I used to make before I went vegan, only I used tofu in it. And you're like, hey, this tastes like egg salad. It's like, yeah, it does, because the stuff in egg salad is pretty neutral until you put all the goodies in it. But, you know, then I get the people who are like, oh my God, tofu, it's the grossest thing ever. Do you know how much soy is in your food? Tofu's made of soy. Seriously, you're eating a dead slab of meat. Now, I don't say that to them, but that's what's going through my head, you know, thinking, you know, why are you so
You have a problem
intolerant?
with this, right? You have a problem with this, you know. How can you have a problem with this when you have this blood going all over the place right now? And and that piece of chicken, you know, you can see it's pink. It might not even be done. And you know.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you know, oh, I found a rat in my coffee, but I'm going to eat this KFC. You know, seriously, come on. So, you know, I have a problem with all of it, which is why I don't evangelize for veganism. I persuade. I give you food. I will tell you what your health benefit of if you eat more of this food will be. And at the end of the day, if you start following all of that and you eat all these wonderful, you know, food items that I can, you know, cook for you or bring in or, you know, offer you, and I talk to you about the benefits of salads or quinoa or whatever it might be,
right.
maybe I've made an inroad.
You need to be the person that's on the mountain. All right. You need to let people know you have information about this lifestyle. If they have questions about it, you're here to answer them. You know, and that's how you become approachable. You know, that's how, if you get people to seek you out on the mountain, they're more apt to do it. Now, because they've been to the doctor and the doctor told them they should eat more greens, then they may be more apt, if you're not a militant pusher, they're more apt to come up and say, hey, how do you get around some of these things when you're at parties? You'll get people to question you about it.
Yeah, and you know, and that becomes an issue too, because then you talk about your support system. Now, I'm really fortunate. My husband's vegetarian, my daughter's vegan, and her husband's vegetarian. Those guys can't give up their cheese. Now, when I went vegan, I told my husband, I said, I'm not going to tell you what you can and can't eat, but I'm also not bringing any animal products into the house. So if we go to the grocery store and you want an animal product, you got to make it. You bring it home. You make it. I'm not touching it. And then also when we go out to eat, you know, I didn't stop him from eating hamburgers. Well, it took him about a year, and he went vegetarian, all on his own, because he went, you know what? I'm not missing burgers. I'm not missing these other things. But he still loves his cheese. So, you know, that's something, you know, I guess I can live with. And I guess if that makes me a bad vegan and an imperfect vegan or not a vegan at all, that's fine.
You know, it's kind of hard for me sometimes, though, and I've had some great portobello sandwiches that were just fantastic, you know, and same thing with tacos. If you go to Bel Air or something like that, you can have portobello, tacos.
Oh, shout out to Bel Air and the whole group with Honey Pie and Bel Air Cantina and Hi Hat and all those guys, they always have vegan options. So shout out to those guys.
But you know what? It's hard for me to buy it when there's a burger for the same price sometimes, you know? It just is, you know, but
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, and that's another thing that I get mad about is that I go into restaurants and I remove items, you know, so I'll remove, say, the cheese, like on, say, a Jimmy John's sandwich. Well, actually, I'm not going to use Jimmy John's because Jimmy John's doesn't do this, but I'll remove the cheese at some establishments from my sandwich and add, say, onions or sprouts. So I'm basically making a swap. And they charge me the extra 75 cents, but don't give me a credit for removing the expensive item, the cheese.
Right. And they could have that as a sandwich, you know, up there on the list, and would cost, if they charge you the same amount, they'd come out ahead, you know, with the sprouts and everything. So just add veggie option, 10 cents, and they'd be coming out ahead because it's cheaper, and they'd be getting another 10 cents from you. And like
Not
you
only
said,
that, how many sprouts do you think they throw away?
well, that's what I'm saying. You know, you gotta keep that stuff fresh. You know, and that's that whole thing that you're saying. You'd like more options. The options just aren't there, and the options actually are there. They're making the same damn sandwich. Just don't put that one item on there, and I'll buy it like that. You know.
Well, and you know, to be fair, you know, at Jimmy John's, I do go in, and Jimmy John's is one of the places that is a you know, a restaurant that caters. Like Jimmy John's, Qdoba, Chipotle, Noodles, all of these places do cater to vegans and vegetarians. They have great options. Mod Pizza, Blaze Pizza. So there are options out there. But when I go into Jimmy John's, I basically have salad on bread. So I go in and I tell them, well, I want the veggie sandwich. Take the cheese off, take the mayo off, add the brown mustard, double all the vegetables, and add onions.
Yeah.
And that's a delicious damn sandwich.
What was that? What's the old Jack Nicholson one? Well, you got toast, don't ya? And you know, you got so you can make a chicken sandwich if you had to, right? You know, and it's like you have the stuff. Don't tell me you can't make it. You know.
Exactly. And then, you know, and then I guess my final, you know, kind of takeaway is, you know, embrace your local vegan. The other day was Hug a Vegetarian Day. You need to hug a vegetarian. You need to hug a vegan. You know, we're kind of revolutionary in our thinking because if you look, a lot of scientists worldwide are agreeing now that a lot of the methane gas is coming from livestock. We don't need livestock, we breed livestock. So this is where I'm going to get a little preachy to everybody. So you can shut it off now if you don't want to hear it. But the scientists do agree that to help climate change and help the environment, we should have less livestock, which means everybody should eat less
Bovine
meat.
gases.
Bovine gases. Also, most of the antibiotics used in the livestock industry, it's 85% of the use in the US. And that number may go up or down a few percent every year, but that's also contributing to the superbugs that we're having problems fighting. So, you know, I'm not talking about going vegan just because, you know, it's good for the animals. I mean, not having the animals killed is kind of like going to be a byproduct. If you want to be really selfish, if you want to be a selfish individual and you want to live on this earth and you want your kids and your grandkids to live on this earth, you're best off to stop as much consumption as we have because it uses a lot of water, it uses a lot of land, it uses a lot of resources. And I know you made the joke at the beginning, I'm doing the work, you know, you don't have to eat the salad, you know, whatever, I'm eating the meat that's eating the salad. Well, why put the middleman in there? Just eat the salad.
But you know, hey, little things like this, and this says that I can fight for my right to say this, and you can't disagree with this. When we deer hunt, we are doing a couple of different things. A lot of people put the deer hunters are feeding pantries and people now on the side. They also lower your insurance rate on your cars because we are taking a danger off the road. All the deer that are there, it does help the population. It stops crops from being destroyed. It is something that does need to be put under control. So there is conservation that does have to happen with livestock and the natural order of things that are out there, unfortunately.
I'm not going to disagree with you. I'm actually going to agree with you. And this is something that I've argued with some vegans about, moderate and more militant vegans. And that brings another issue up into stewardship of our earth because we let things run rampant and we interfere. We took the wolves away and you know, the cougars and things like that. We shot them all dead. So the deer had no natural predator. So now the only natural predator for deer is man. And I know other vegans have put forth that we can capture the deer and you know, sterilize them all or whatever. We don't want to sterilize all the deer. That doesn't make any sense to me because they're living creatures too, and sterilizing puts them under a certain amount of stress. So
because you want to be vegan, you're going to stop having them being created. Yes.
yeah, well, see, and that's weird. And then, you know, there's the thing where there's just so many odd arguments. So I don't disagree with you at all. In fact, I kind of agree with you that hunting is almost a necessity. But the reason it's a necessity is because man messed with animals in the first place. So
no,
how do we go back to that?
Let's also go all the way back to the fact that the protein from meat made our brains grow larger, and we were able to be civilized quicker as a result of that. So
actually, that's not true.
Boy,
Also,
we have to argue for that.
Yeah, and also the thing where they say we have canine teeth and we could, you know, we can tear into things. Look in the mouth of your cat and look in your mouth. Your mouth has denturature more like a cow than it does a cougar. So we are meant to be omnivores to a certain extent. We actually have a lot of problems digesting meat. There's a lot of other things, but you know.
Hey, that's probably they think that's what they think the appendix at one time was where we had like a second stomach where we stored the meat, you know, and that for long times when we didn't eat, that was actually a little.
The only animals that have two stomachs are ruminants, and those are vegetarians. So yeah, we don't store meat.
Camel, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, and you're bringing up a lot of the typical arguments.
Yep. And
that's, you know, we talked about that too. That's why I wanted to talk to you about it, because you know you're friendly to vegans, but you also bring up a lot of the typical arguments. And so, you know, those are things. If somebody wants to ask a vegan, you know, post on our Facebook page. You know, you can ask a vegan. I'll answer any questions you have. I'll try to point you towards good information. If you're interested in taking care of your health more, and this has nothing to do with being vegan, nutritionfacts.org. I'll post a link on our Facebook page. Dr. Michael Greger goes over all of the things, including how not to die. And how not to die is about an hour-long talk that he used to give, and he's got some new talks he's giving. He's also got a book out. This guy will convince you that a lot of the things that we eat nowadays are not that great for us, and he has the scientific research to back it up. Not just one study, but he does aggregate studies and talks about that, which I think is really important for people who are struggling with their health. You can regain your health through eating a whole food plant-based diet, which is not necessarily a vegan diet all the time. So, you know, want to bring that forward too. So yeah, did I convince you? You're going to give up meat, right, Dave?
Oh yeah. Right after I get done eating the pork roast that I have in the
pork roast slathered in bacon.
No, not this time. Just cream of mushroom soup a little bit. I do have a side with potatoes, you know. So, but I do have a fridge full. We went up to and ran across a meat place, and we did get some cheese curds and beef jerky and hot sticks, and you know, it was like. It was going like, oh, look at this, look at this, look at this.
And guess what, Dave? I don't care. But no, it's all good. Because, you know, like I said, I want to be an advocate. I don't want to be a preacher. I had my little preachy moment, but I'm not a preacher about it. You will hear about our veganism from time to time, you know, in my family.
That's great. Like I said, I'll always eat it if it's there, but I'm not giving it up. I just know I do love my steaks. I do love my fish. I do love my hamburger. I do love my pork. I do love my chicken. I do.
Oh, I love them too. I just love them when they're alive.
Yes. Yes. I noticed there's a cat running around, but not a chicken or a cow running around the apartment, though.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, right.
Can't you save one of those like the greyhounds? Can't you go to a farmer's field and say, "I'm going to buy that one," and save it, pardon it,
Yes, you can. Do you know what Jon Stewart's doing right now? Jon Stewart, after he left The Daily Show, is doing a farm animal sanctuary in New York, upstate New York.
Maybe I did see a little of that. Yes, yeah, he did. He bought some animals. Yes, that's right.
So yeah, no, he didn't buy the animals. It's a sanctuary. They're acquiring them from other sources. So, but every now and then I'll talk about veganism. I'm not going to make it a preachy thing. If you hear me say it, don't sit there and go, "Oh, she's talking about being vegan again." It's who I am. It's like people who talk about being Christian, or people who talk about being, Italian.
I think they say that about a lot of stuff we talk about. Oh, we're talking about that again.
Yeah, right, right. Well, that's why we have these after hours. So I want to say peace out,
High
Stay
five,
good.
Milwaukee.
Yep, be good. High five. Yay.